NetworkMiner is an open-source traffic sniffer, PCAP handler and protocol analyzer. Developed and still maintained by NetAsec. The official description: NetworkMiner is an open-source network forensic analysis tool, NFAT, for Windows, but also works in Linux/Mac OS X/FreeBSD. NetworkMiner can be used as a passive network sniffer/packet capturing tool to detect operating systems, sessions, hostnames, open ports etc. without putting any traffic on the network. NetworkMiner can also parse PCAP files for offline analysis and to regenerate/reassemble transmitted files and certificates from PCAP files. NetworkMiner makes it easy to perform advanced network traffic analysis, NTA, by providing extracted artifacts in an intuitive user interface. The way data is presented not only makes the analysis simpler, it also saves valuable time for the analyst or forensic investigator. NetworkMiner has, since the first release in 2007, become a popular tool among incident response teams as well as law enforcement. NetworkMiner is today used by companies and organizations all over the world. For this room, you will be expected to have basic Linux familiarity and network fundamentals, ports, protocols and traffic data. We suggest completing the network fundamentals path before starting working in this room. The room aims to provide a general network forensics overview and work with NetworkMiner to investigate captured traffic. Note: VMs attached to this challenge. You don't need SSH or RDP, the room provides a split view feature. Note: there are two different NetworkMiner versions are available in the attached VM. Use the required version according to the tasks. Note: exercise files are located in the folder on the desktop. Open the tool folder and double-click on the .exe file. Introduction to Network Forensics. Network forensics is a specific subdomain of the forensics domain, and it focuses on network traffic investigation. Network forensics discipline covers the work done to access information transmitted by listening and investigating live and recorded traffic, gathering evidence/artifacts and understanding potential problems. Briefly, it is the action of recording packets of network traffic and creating investigatable sources and establishing a root cause analysis of an event. The ultimate goal is to provide sufficient information to detect malicious activities, security breaches, policy/regulation compliance, system health and user behavior. The investigation process identifies communicated hosts in terms of time, frequency, protocol, application and data. The investigation tries to answer the 5W, who, source IP and port, what, data forward/payload, where, destination IP and port, when, time and data, why, how forward/what happened. Note that the network evidence capture and investigation process should be systematic. Having enough data and the right timeline capture for a successful network forensics investigation is crucial. Network forensics use cases. The most common network forensics use cases are explained below. Network discovery, discovering the network to overview connected devices, rogue hosts and network load. Packets reassembling, reassembling the packets to investigate the traffic flow. This use case is helpful in unencrypted traffic flows. Data leakage detection, reviewing packet transfer rates for each host and destination address helps detect possible data leakage. Anomaly and malicious activity detection, reviewing overall network load by focusing on used ports, source and destination addresses, and data helps detect possible malicious activities along with vulnerabilities. This use case covers the correlation of indicators and hypotheses as well. Policy/regulation compliance control, reviewing overall network behavior helps detect policy/regulation compliance. Advantages of network forensics. General advantages of network forensics are explained below. Availability of network-based evidence in the wild. Capturing network traffic is collecting evidence, so it is easier than other types of evidence collections such as logs and IOCs. Ease of data /evidence collection without creating noise. Capturing and working with network traffic is easier than investigating unfiltered events by EDRs, EPs and log systems. Usually, sniffing doesn't create much noise, logs and alerts. The other thing is that network traffic is not destructible like logs and alerts generated by security systems. It is hard to destroy the network evidence, as it is the transferred data. Since the evidence is the traffic itself, it is impossible to do anything without creating network noise. Still, it is possible to hide the artifacts by encrypting, tunneling and manipulating the packets. So, the second fact is the challenge of this advantage. Availability of log sources. Logs provide valuable information which helps to correlate the chain of events and support the investigation hypothesis. The majority of the EDRs, EPs and network devices create logs by default. Having log files is easy if the attacker /threat/malware didn't erase/destroy them. It is possible to gather evidence for memory and non-residential malicious activities. The malware /threat might reside in the memory to avoid detection. However, the series of commands and connections live in the network. So it is possible to detect non-residential threats with network forensics tools and tactics. Challenges of network forensics. General challenges of the network forensics are explained below. Deciding what to do. One of the most difficult challenges of network forensics is deciding what to do. There are several purposes of carving networks: SOC, IH/IR and threat hunting. Observing, trapping, catching, or stopping an anomalous activity is also possible. Sufficient data /evidence collection on the network. One of the advantages of network forensics is ease of collecting evidence. However, the breadth of this concept poses a challenge. There are multiple points to consider in data /evidence collection. Short data capture. One of the challenges in data /evidence collection. Capturing all network activity is not applicable and operable. So, it is hard always to have the packet captures that covers pre, during and post-event. The unavailability of full packet capture on suspicious events. Continuously capturing, storing and processing full packets costs time and resources. The inability to have full packet captures for a long time creates time gaps between captures, resulting in missing a significant part of an event of interest. Sometimes net flow captures are used instead of full packet captures to reduce the weight of having full packet captures and increase the capture time. Note that full packet captures provide full packet details and give the opportunity of event reconstruction, while net flow provides high-level summary but not data /payload details. Encrypted traffic. Encrypted data is another challenge of network forensics. In most cases, discovering the contents of the encrypted data is not possible. However, the encrypted data still can provide valuable information for the hypothesis like source and destination address and used services. GDPR and privacy concerns in traffic recording. Capturing the traffic is the same as recording everything on the wire, therefore, this act should comply with GDPR and business-specific regulations, for example HIPAA, PCI DSS and FISMA. Non-standard port usage. One of the popular approaches in network forensics investigations is grabbing the low-hanging fruits in the first investigation step. Looking for commonly used patterns, like known ports and services used in enumeration and exploitation, is known as grabbing the low-hanging fruits. However, sometimes attackers /threats use non-standard ports and services to avoid detection and bypass security mechanisms. Therefore sometimes, this ends up as a challenge of network forensics. Time zone issues. Using a common time zone is important for big-scale event investigation. Especially when working with multiple resources over different time zones, usage of different time zones create difficulties in event correlation. Lack of logs. Network forensics is not limited to investigating the network traffic data. Network devices and event logs are crucial in event correlation and investigation hypotheses. This fact is known by the attackers /threats as well, therefore these logs are often erased by them, in order to make the investigation more difficult. Sources of network forensics evidence. Capturing proper network traffic requires knowledge and tools. Usually, there is a single chance of gathering the live traffic as evidence. There are multiple evidence resources to gather network forensics data. Taps: inline devices, span ports, hubs, switches, routers, DHCP servers, name servers, authentication servers, firewalls, web proxies, central log servers, logs, IDs /IPS, application, OS, device. Primary purposes of network forensics. There are two primary purposes in network forensics investigations. Security operations, SOC, daily security monitoring activities on system performance and health, user behavior, and security issues. Incident handling / response and threat hunting, during / post-incident investigation activities on understanding the reason for the incident, detecting malicious and suspicious activity, and investigating the data flow content. Investigated data types in network forensics. There are three main data types investigated in network forensics: live traffic, traffic captures, full packet captures, and network flows, log files. NetworkMiner is capable of processing and handling packet pictures and live traffic. Therefore, we will focus on live and captured traffic in this room. Both of these data sources are valuable for forensics investigations. Traffic investigation actions fall under network forensics' traffic analysis subdomain. However, the main purpose of the NetworkMiner is to investigate the overall flow / condition of the limited amount of traffic, not for a long in-depth live traffic investigation. Therefore, we will focus on how to use NetworkMiner for this purpose. In-depth traffic and packet analysis will be covered in the rooms below. Wireshark dump, available soon. Shark, available soon. It can intercept the traffic, sniff it, and collect and log packets that pass through the network. It can parse PCAP files and show the content of the packets in detail. It can identify the used protocols from the parsed PCAP file. It can identify the used OS by reading the PCAP file. This feature strongly relies on Satori and P0F. It can extract images, HTML files and emails from the parsed PCAP file. It can extract credentials from the parsed PCAP file. It can extract clear text keywords and strings from the parsed PCAP file. We are using NetworkMiner Free Edition in this room, but a professional edition has much more features. You can see the differences between free and professional versions here. Operating modes. There are two main operating modes. Sniffer mode, although it has a sniffing feature, it is not intended to use as a sniffer. The sniffer feature is available only on Windows. However, the rest of the features are available in Windows and Linux OS. Based on experience, the sniffing feature is not as reliable as other features. Therefore, we suggest not using this tool as a primary sniffer. Even the official description of the tool mentions that this tool is a network forensics analysis tool, but it can be used as a sniffer. In other words, it is a network forensic analysis tool with but has a sniffer feature, but it is not a dedicated sniffer like Wireshark and CDump. Packet parsing / processing. NetworkMiner can parse traffic captures to have a quick overview and information on the investigated capture. This operation mode is mainly suggested to grab the low-hanging fruit before diving into a deeper investigation. Pros and cons. As mentioned in the previous task, NetworkMiner is mainly used to gain an overview of the network. Before starting to investigate traffic data, let's look at the pros and cons of the NetworkMiner. Pros: OS fingerprinting, easy file extraction, credential grabbing, clear text, keyword parsing, overall overview. Cons: not useful in active sniffing, not useful for large PCAP investigation, limited filtering, not built for manual traffic investigation. Differences between Wireshark and NetworkMiner. NetworkMiner and Wireshark have similar base features, but they separate in use purpose. Although main functions are identical, some of the features are much stronger for specific use cases. The best practice is to record the traffic for offline analysis, quickly overview the PCAP with NetworkMiner, and go deep with Wireshark for further investigation. This is the landing page of the NetworkMiner. Once you open the application, this screen loads up. The File menu helps you load a PCAP file or receive PCAP over IP. You can also drag and drop PCAP files as well. NetworkMiner also can receive PCAPs over IP. This room suggests using NetworkMiner as an initial investigation tool for low-hanging fruit grabbing and traffic overview. Therefore, we will skip receiving PCAPs over IP in this room. You can read on receiving PCAP over IP from here and here. The case panel shows the list of the investigated PCAP files. You can reload /refresh, view metadata details, and remove loaded files from this panel. Viewing metadata of loaded files. Hosts. The Hosts menu shows the identified hosts in the PCAP file. This section provides information on IP address, MAC address, OS type, open ports, sent / received packets, incoming / outgoing sessions, host details. OS fingerprinting uses the Satori Git Hub repo and P0F, and the MAC address database uses the MAC Ages Git Hub repo. You can sort the identified hosts by using the Sort menu. You can change the color of the hosts as well. Some of the features, OS and Lookup, are available only in premium mode. The right-click menu also helps you to copy the selected value. Sessions. The Session menu shows detected sessions in the PCAP file. This section provides information on frame number, client and server address, source and destination port, protocol, start time. You can search for keywords inside frames with the help of the filtering bar. It is possible to filter specific columns of the session menu as well. This menu accepts 4 types of inputs: exact phrase or words, any word, reg exe. DNS. The DNS menu shows DNS queries with details. This section provides information on frame number, timestamp, client and server, source and destination, port, IP, TTL, DNS time, transaction ID and type, DNS query and answer. Alexa Top 1M. Some of the features, Alexa Top 1M, are available only in premium mode. The search bar is available here as well. Credentials. The credentials menu shows extracted credentials and password hashes from investigated PCAPs. You can use Hashcat, Git Hub, and John the Ripper, Git Hub, to decrypt extracted credentials. NetworkMiner can extract credentials including Kerberos hashes, NTLM hashes, RDP cookies, HTTP requests, IMAP, FTP, SMTP, MSSQL. The right-click menu is helpful in this part as well. You can easily copy the username and password values.
What's going on, everybody? Today I am going to be doing the one and start the machine in this PCAP file. So we'll go ahead and open NetworkMiner here. Okay, and then you want to go to exercise files, and then it's the MX-3 here. For the first question here, it says what is the total number of frames? If you click on the frames tab and go all the way to the bottom, there's 400.
How many IP addresses use the same MAC address with host 145.253.2.203? Files. The File menu shows extracted files from investigated PCAPs. This section provides information on frame number, file name, extension size, source and destination address, source and destination port, protocol timestamp, reconstructed path details. Some features, OSINT hash lookup and sample submission, are available only in premium mode. The search bar is available here as well. The right-click menu is helpful in this part as well. You can easily open files and folders and view the file details in depth. Images. The File menu shows extracted images from investigated PCAPs. The right-click menu is helpful in this part as well. You can open files and zoom in and out easily. Once you hover over the image, it shows the file's detailed information, source and destination address and file path. Parameters. The File menu shows extracted parameters from investigated PCAPs. This section provides information on parameter name, parameter value, frame number, source and destination host, source and destination port, timestamp details. The right-click menu is helpful in this part as well. You can copy the parameters and values easily. Keywords. The File menu shows extracted keywords from investigated PCAPs. This section provides information on frame number, timestamp, keyword, context, source and destination host, source and destination port, how to filter keywords, add keywords, reload case files. Note, you can filter multiple keywords in this section, however, you must reload the case files after updating the search keywords. Keyword search investigates all possible data in the processed PCAPs. Messages. The Messages menu shows extracted emails, chats and messages from investigated PCAPs. This section provides information on frame number, source and destination host, protocol, sender, from, receiver, to, timestamp, size. Once you filter the traffic and get a hit, you will discover additional details like attachments and attributes on the selected message. Note that the search bar is available here as well. The right-click menu is available here. You can use the built-in viewer to investigate overall information and the open file option to explore attachments. Anomalies. The Anomalies menu shows detected anomalies in the processed PCAP. Note that NetworkMiner isn't designated as an IDs. However, developers added some detections for Eternal Blue exploit and spoofing attempts.
scroll past that and read all of it, you'll get to the questions. So first question is going to be using MX-7
Version differences. As always, it wouldn't be surprising to see a feature improvement as the version goes up. Unsurprisingly, version upgrades provide stability, security fixes and features. Here the feature part is quite tricky. Feature upgrades can represent implementing new features and updating the existing feature, optimization, alteration or operation mode modification. You can always check the changelog here. Since there are some significant differences between the versions, the given VM has both of the major versions, version 1.6 and version 2.7. Of course, as the program version increases, it is expected to increase feature increase and scope. Here are the significant differences between versions 1.6 and 2.7. Here are the differences. MAC address processing. NetworkMiner versions after version 2 can process MAC address specific correlation as shown in the picture below. This option will help you identify if there is a MAC address conflict. This feature is not available before version 2. Send/received packet processing. NetworkMiner versions up to version 1.6 can handle packets in much detail. These options will help you investigate the sent/received packets in a more detailed format. This feature is not available after version 1.6. Frame processing. NetworkMiner versions up to version 1.6 can handle frames. This option provides the number of frames and essential details about the frames. This feature is not available after version 1.6. Parameter processing. NetworkMiner versions after version 2 can handle parameters in a much more extensive form. Therefore version 1.6.xx catches fewer parameters than version 2. Clear text processing. NetworkMiner versions up to version 1.6 can handle clear text data. This option provides all extracted clear text data in a single tab. It is beneficial to investigate clear text data about the traffic data. However, it is impossible to match the clear text data and packets. This feature is not available after version 1.6.
Alright, we're going to move on to task 7, exercises. Okay, so it looks like it wants us to load case 1 PCAP, so we'll go ahead and clear everything here. And we'll file open case 1. Okay, what is the operating system name of the host 131? Okay, it's probably looking for all this right here. I think it's looking for this one specifically. I think it's Windows dash Windows NT 4. Case 2. Okay, so your answer there would be 2. Okay, and if you look at the hint for this one, it says perimeters can help you. So if you go over to the perimeter tab, and then if you type in content here, apply that, this will come up. It looks like there's text slash plain, or there's the multi-part slash mix. So your answer there would be 2, because there's only 2 different types.
Congratulations. You just finished the NetworkMiner room. In this room, we covered NetworkMiner, what it is, how it operates, and how to investigate PCAP files. As I mentioned in the tasks before, there are a few things to remember about the NetworkMiner. Don't use this tool as a primary sniffer. Use this tool to overview the traffic, then move forward with Wireshark and CDump for a more in-depth investigation. NetworkMiner is an open-source network forensics tool that extracts artifacts, such as files, images, emails and passwords, from captured network traffic in PCAP files. NetworkMiner can also be used to capture live network traffic by sniffing a network interface. Detailed information about each IP address in the analyzed network traffic is aggregated to a network host inventory, which can be used for passive asset discovery as well as to get an overview of which devices that are communicating. NetworkMiner is primarily designed to run in Windows, but can also be used in Linux. NetworkMiner has, since the first release in 2007, become a popular tool among incident response teams as well as law enforcement. NetworkMiner is today used by companies and organizations all over the world. NetworkMiner AB is an independent software vendor, ISV, with focus on network security monitoring and network forensics. We develop and sell software products specially designed to capture and analyze network traffic on the wire as well as in PCAP files. We also conduct research and development in the field of network traffic analysis and IT security. Polar Proxy is constantly being updated with new features, enhanced performance and bug fixes, but these updates are not always communicated other than as a short mention in the changelog. I would therefore like to highlight a few recent additions to Polar Proxy in this blog post. One new feature in Polar Proxy is the redirect argument, which can be used to redirect TLS traffic destined for a specific domain name to a different domain. This feature can be used to redirect TLS encrypted malware traffic going to a known C2 domain to a local HTTPS sandbox instead, for example in ITSIM. This redirect argument will cause Polar Proxy to terminate outgoing TLS traffic to malwarec2.com and redirect the decrypted traffic into a new TLS session going to initsim.local instead. The leftcert noclone argument forces Polar Proxy to generate a fake x.509 certificate for malwarec2.com rather than sending a clone of the certificate received from the initsim server to the malware implant. The redirect argument can also be used to perform domain fronting, which is a clever method for hiding the true destination of HTTPS-based communication, in order to circumvent censorship or for other reasons conceal who you're communicating with. The following command can be used to set up a local SOX proxy that redirects traffic destined for YouTube to google.com instead.
and type in USB or filter by USB, you'll see this high speed one. You can right click on that one, file details.
A browser configured to use Polar Proxy as a SOCKS proxy will send HTTPS requests for youtube.com to Polar Proxy, which then decrypts the TLS layer and re-encrypts the HTTP communication in a new TLS session directed at google.com instead. Someone who monitors the outgoing traffic from Polar Proxy will assume that this is normal Google traffic, since the SNI as well as certificate will be for google.com. On the server side, however, after having decrypted the TLS layer, Google will kindly forward the client's original HTTP request for youtube.com to an endpoint that serves the content for YouTube.
USB's product name. And if you go over to the Files tab, it says it is the A6 right here. So that's going to be the answer for this one. That's the brand. ASIX. What is the name of the phone model? Okay, guys, after looking for a while for the phone model, I finally found it. So it is the Lumia 535. The only thing that really hinted towards it was that there was this image and the images file. Next question is, what's the source IP of the fish image? So in the files, we're just going to look up fish. Looks like there's a crazy fishing JPEG file, so we'll look at the host. Looks like it might line up here, so we'll do 50.22.95.9. It looks like that's right. And then what is the password of the homer.poem email? Okay, so we're looking for the GMX server, so we'll go ahead and filter by servers here. Which that's going to filter by IP address, but it does kind of make it easier here. We finally got something, pop.gmx here at the very end. There's his email right there as a username. And there's the password right there, spring 2015. And then what is the DNS query of frame 62,001? Okay, so the last one won't load for me, but it's going to be the one that we just saw on the last screen, how we found this answer. It's going to be that website that we saw that he typed his email in, which is going to be the pop.gmx.com. That should be the answer for that one. And then on to the conclusion. It just congratulates you for finishing the room. And that's pretty much all it is. That's everything.